Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and in this video we're going to be talking to you about feeling unmotivated in no contact.
Very common.
You know, one of the things that I have seen time and time again is that your belief, what you think, what you feel about your situation is going to have a huge impact on how motivated you are in no contact. The people that I see that think it's hopeless, think their ex will never come back and truly believe that, are not motivated. And instead of taking the time to grow and learn and change, they're so focused on where their ex is at, what they're doing, and how upset and angry they are at them. But a lot of this does come from your needs not being met by your caregivers. So when you're considering whether or not your ex is going to come back, beyond the facts, right, you might want to consider if you did or didn't get your needs met as a child, because you're going to see a correlation there. But motivation, I believe, is so critical to making the most out of a very painful situation in life.
Right? And I'd say so much of it is about mindset. We were just talking about a study that I heard about recently to where two sets of rats, I promise this is going to be related, two sets of rats were put into water to see how long they would swim for before they gave up. And so the first set, they were in for something like 30 minutes and they drowned. The second set of rats, they were in the water for 30 minutes-ish until they were on the verge of drowning, and then they were pulled out. So they put that set of rats back into the water to see how long they would swim for, and they ended up swimming for 6 hours on the second time around, or about 6 hours, something like that. And so the point of the results of that study, you could say, are that mindset is everything. If you think that there's hope out there, if you think that, there's an opportunity for something different, that there's love out there, then you will be more motivated to continue swimming, to keep going, to keep pushing harder. So when we're thinking about motivation, mindset is so much of it. If you have hope, that will take you so much farther than if you're hopeless in your situation.
That's such a fantastic study, because it really shows you that even in animals like rats, which they say rats are pretty smart, even a rat on some unconscious level knows something's going to come to help me. I got to keep going, right? And so having the mindset that your ex is going to come back is going to keep you a lot more motivated to grow and to change than thinking they're never coming back, they're done. In which case, okay, if you're wrong and they do come back, you're not going to be ready. But if you do the work and you do grow and you do heal and they don't come back, you're still going to change your life and blow away anybody that you're dating, because 99% of the world doesn't understand the stuff that we teach.
Right? So it puts you in a much better position.
Yeah.
Now, we understand that motivation in no contact is hard because many of you might be going through some situational depression after this breakup. And depression zaps your energy like that. It can be so hard to get up in the morning, to even do the very basic things to keep yourself functional, much less, work on things like your emotional health, read a book, do anything to kind of influence your mental state. And so we can experience a lot of different symptoms through depression, time distortion, specifically in breakups and in no contact, because we are just sitting there waiting for a message from our ex, and it can feel torturous, like time is so slow all of a sudden.
Oh, that's the worst feeling. I remember that vividly.
Yeah, and so this can be a really challenging time to muster up the motivation for anything at all. So figured we would share about this in this video. Another thing that can be really defeating is not seeing immediate results, right? With a lot of things in life, we have somewhat immediate results,
True.
And another thing that can be really defeating is not seeing immediate results, which that's what no contact is all about. We don't advise you to go into no contact with that expectation that your ex is going to reach out to you tomorrow, right? No contact is an indefinite period where you don't reach out to them and they reach out to you ultimately. So,
and let me jump in there, because this is an important point. Many of you who didn't get your needs met from your caregivers are going to be a lot more likely to believe that you're not going to get your needs met. It's tied together. Okay, I'm going in the deep end of the pool explaining this stuff, but this has to do with your unconscious and things that happened to you when you were in those first few years of life. And so there's a correlation with those of you that did get those needs met, believing that your ex is going to come back or things are going to turn around or there'll be another opportunity and not. Okay, so you always want to take a look at your history to work through that stuff.
Right. That's really important, just to be able to be aware of that and be self-reflective. So you might feel like in no contact, you might be working to no end, right? If you're not really getting the results, you're just working. And mindset, attachment style, all of these things have a huge impact on your perspective during no contact. There was a client that I spoke to recently who put this so perfectly, and I loved this analogy. He said that no contact is like a race with no finish line, right? You don't know if, when, if you'll hear from your ex at all.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's very vague, and there's a lot of uncertainty that you have to work through in no contact.
Yeah, because you don't know if it's going to end, when it's going to end. It can end tomorrow. It can right now. There'll be somebody eventually that is watching this video and their ex will reach out. It will happen.
I feel like one of those telepreachers, you know? Is there anybody out there?
Somebody right now is hearing from their ex, and we will see a comment on there one day. So if it's happening to you and your ex broke no contact during this video, let us know so we can see and prove that it's true. How many times do you get exes reaching out on the calls?
Oh my gosh, more than you would think.
You're right.
It's pretty astounding. It's pretty astounding.
It just happened to me last week.
Yeah, I think me too. Recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're reaching out. I haven't heard from them in months.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the greatest moment because I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
All right.
We got some time. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And here's how your plan is for the rest of it. Yeah. Happens all the time, right?
It's so interesting when it happens.
Yeah. But, you know, for those of you that are struggling with the motivation, understand it's not always going to be extremely high. There's going to be times where you're more motivated and there's going to be times that you're less motivated. That would be understandable. It takes discipline to make progress. Working on the workbooks once a week, yeah, you'll get a little bit of progress, but you're not going to get the same amount of progress as the people that are working on it, 6 days a week for 30 minutes a day. You got to be consistent in order to make real progress. Emotional health, working on your mental health takes discipline. And it can be a real struggle when you're depressed. It's understandable. But if you're really focused on getting the outcome that you want, you have to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And creating a routine, being able to make a routine out of it can help so much. When I think about this, I also think about the law of inertia. So I see motivation, right? A ball in motion or an object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. And so starting can sometimes be the hardest part. I know many of you can go back and remember that first week after the breakup. Many of you couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, were constantly under stress. Some of you were having explosive diarrhea, not to point any fingers or name any names.
Who, me? My toilet still hasn't forgiven me.
Oh my gosh. And so thinking about the law of inertia, if you're able to make those first steps into creating a routine that you have down, that involves self-care, that involves self-reflection, that involves, staying social, doing the things that keep your mental health in check and that keep you feeling okay and grounded, then that can be immensely helpful.
Absolutely. Relationships can motivate you. Okay? Think about how motivated you are right now. Now, some of you are extremely motivated, and the level of work that I'm seeing from you guys, it's just so inspiring. I love to see that. But think about, when in your life have you ever been so motivated to change and to grow and take a look at who you are and who you want to be, to fight for that person that you love, to fight for that relationship, when maybe you were apathetic or unmotivated or didn't even take care of that relationship before? So let it inspire you to work and to grow and to make the changes, because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself.
Yeah, and you have to live with your choices.
Yeah.
Right? And so we want you to act as if this love is coming for you, right? We don't want to act as if our life is hopeless and we've peaked already and everything is downhill from here. I know when we get into this kind of depressed mindset, our mind tries to convince us of that because we are feeling so hurt. We are feeling so abandoned. Like Craig said, a lot of things from our past can start creeping up that we were never even aware of. And so having that mindset of there is good out there for you, it is coming, keeping it going, keeping that motivation, your outcome is going to be impacted by your mindset. So keep that in mind.
I came up with a really good analogy the other day. I haven't shared this one in a video yet, but I was looking forward to a place to share it, and it seems like a good time.
Okay.
The home alone analogy. That's what we're gonna call this.
Let's
you
hear
haven't
it.
heard this yet.
I haven't heard it.
Okay. Think about Home Alone. Okay? In the movie, if you've seen it, the little boy, Kevin, knows the burglars are coming back to the house. So what does he do? He prepares. He sets the traps. He prepares himself. He gets ready because he knows they're coming back, right? But if he didn't think they were going to come back, he wouldn't have prepared himself. He wouldn't have done anything. He wouldn't have been ready for it. So you want to look at it like you know the burglars are coming back and you need to get ready, okay? Imagine you're Kevin, okay? Get
And
your
your
traps
ex-
ready.
Your ex is the sticky bandits?
Yeah.
Are they the sticky bandit or the wet bandit? Whatever.
The wet bandits.
That's what your ex is.
Your ex is the wet bandits. For some of you, that might be accurate, but that's another story.
Some of you, it's the dry bandits.
Oh gosh, if you've made it this far,
Some of you are like,
we
I'm not
applaud
even
you.
motivated to
We
watch this video.
applaud you. But think about it. Like, he knew they were coming back, so he was preparing and doing everything
That's
that he
true.
could to be ready. And so you want to look at it like you are in Home Alone and you need to prepare yourself. Act as if the burglars are coming back and you need to be ready. If they don't come back, you are still prepared, right? And you're still going to be able to use those things for other burglars. Obviously, that works in all situations.
Why couldn't it be the family? Why couldn't the family be like the ex?
All right. Well,
the
we
family
can.
did come back.
You know, if they get Buzz, that's fine. If they
All
get
right.
revenge on Buzz, that would be good
Okay.
too. I love that movie, by the way. The part with the spider. So we took a little of a detour. I take the blame for that. But I really do like that analogy because it really does. When you put yourself and your mind into the situation of, I can visualize that. Oh yeah, I could see myself in that situation. And it's kind of like a third party observer.
Yeah.
It makes you really realize, oh, it gets you outside of what you're doing and not being motivated and just watching no contact videos.
Right. And remember the purpose here. You know, you really got to go back to what's the meaning, what's the purpose for you. And I know when your ex isn't in the picture, a lot of times we can lose sight of that. But it sounds like what made your relationship meaningful was being seen, was having that kind of connection, was bonding with someone. And so I have a lot of hope in a lot of people. I say this a lot during the end of my calls. I have a lot of hope for you. If you do a call with me, you probably have heard me say that I have so much hope for you because I really do think hope is one of those strong foundations that can help people heal and get to where they need to be.
Please focus on other videos besides our no contact videos. If you look at the channel, you can see consistently that the videos where we're trying to teach you the skills to be a better partner aren't watched very often. We're constantly trying to put them out there for you and encourage you guys to watch them, but you got to do that on your own. Put on those videos. Put on the Be a Master in Relationships playlist. I mean, there's hundreds of videos in there, and they will truly help you change your life. And that's going to prepare you for your ex coming back or meeting other people in the future.
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and we will talk with you soon.